CFMEU's regretting letting bikies sign up.
The Labor Party's certainly regretting it because they've just been forced to cut ties with the construction union, which means no affiliation fees.
Insufficient funds!
Which means the ALP won't be able to afford as many snappy political advertisements.
There are many jobs that should go to Australians first, but the Liberals and Nationals say Australians lack the skills.
Which, after saying that, isn't necessarily a bad thing. Anthony Albanese was forced to move on the CFMEU after unrelenting coverage of the fact the union had been overrun by bikies and gangsters.
They infiltrated Victoria very well.
Infiltrated implies that it was under the radar and union bosses didn't know. That's not the case here. They were welcomed with open arms, and with good cause. Bikies make excellent unionists. There's not that much difference between a well-run outlaw motorcycle gang and a militant blue-collar union. They all like beards, they're staunch.
You can't wear a tank top 2 days in a row, and you can only wear your hair in a ponytail once a week.
They both have to pay their dues once they sign up.
Do you accept cash?
Most bikie gangs charge around $50 a week. That's 20 or 30% more than you'd be expected to cough up at the construction union.
Oh my God, look at this! It's $1,000!
You get your patch once you're accepted. You have to attend all-in events.
We want to invite you to have lunch with us every day for the rest of the week.
In bikie land, that's called going to church. Unions call them stop work meetings.
Jason's not going out with Taylor. No, he cannot blow you off like that.
Unions and bikie gangs both love a show of force. They both don't often like ladies to be part of the gang.
Now, if you break any of these rules, you can't sit with us at lunch.
Have a look at a CFMEU rally and it's just as much of a sausage fest as a bikie clubhouse. They both like to get their punch on. That's a brawl in Brisbane after the CFMEU locked out some tradies from a construction site. And that's some Hells Angels airing a grievance at a kickboxing match on the Gold Coast. They don't always see eye to eye with the law. That cop is not checking the neck size of that wharfie for a suit fitting, and that gypsy joker hasn't smudged his lipstick after a disagreement with the constabulary. Bikies and unionists both love a good sing-along. That was the Maritime Union of Australia.
Never lose faith in a think. We hit pricks that think their shit don't stink.
And that was the boy band division of the Finks Outlaw Motorcycle Gang. Most obviously, unions and bikies employ similar negotiation tactics.
In the end, I had to put his head in a vice.
There's a long history between unions and the underworld.
Anthony Albanese's clutching his pearls at the moment at the thought there might be corruption in union ranks. He had the audacity to act shocked.
I was shocked.
Shocked.
Give me a break, Albo. The underworld's had a construction ticket since the days of the Builders Labourers Federation.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
In the 1970s, New South Wales BLF boss Jack Mundy was neck deep with gangsters. Came out when his on-again, off-again lover, Juanita Nielsen, disappeared after a meeting at the Carousel nightclub in King's Cross about 1 million years ago. The Carousel was owned by a bloke called Abe Safrod.
Mr. Singh.
You don't need to join too many dots to appreciate why he had that nickname. The industrial relations landscape is littered with gangsters. Mick Gatto openly describes himself as a building industry mediator. So does Tom Domican. Tom makes Mick look like Rod and Todd from The Simpsons.
Knock that off, you two. It's time for church.
Tough Tommy was part of Australia's most infamous jailhouse fight. Went 10 minutes with bare knuckles against convicted murderer Neddy Smith in what was called the Battle of Long Bay. Domican, who's a self-proclaimed harbinger of industrial peace, was charged twice with the murder of Sydney underworld legend Christopher Dale Flannery.
Mr. Rent-A-Kill.
And you really don't need to draw too many dots to work out why he had that nickname. Flannery was Australia's most sought-after professional hitman. 12 kills to his name, apparently, and the authorities would have had us believe Domican didn't flinch at the idea of icing him.
Yeah, he beat the rap.
After he appealed to the High Court.
It's the vibe of it.
Despite all the huff and puff around him, Teflon Tom's pretty much a clean skin.
No scratches, no sticking.
Guess what he did before he was industrial relations mediator?
What?
Political numbers man. Guess which party?
Don't.
Absolutely, the f***ing ALP. Albo acting shocked. Spare me. The PM suspended the construction division affiliation in every state except WA. Won't you register the mine? Says that would mean the dog would be completely off the leash. Would also mean no chance of state Labor governments getting back the rivers of gold in CFMEU donations But that's probably got nothing to do with anything.
The problem's been right under his nose the whole time.
That's an emerging theme in this government. 2 Russian agents living in Australia for a long time have been charged with espionage. It's like a low-rent version of the TV series The Americans. That followed a sexy couple who were Russian spies living in 1980s Washington, D.C.
Was that?
Kerry Russell from Felicity, yes
Wow.
it was.
Number 6, dress high voltage.
They got Kerry Russell in lingerie, we got Kira Korolev and her 62-year-old husband Igor, who was a tradie. Our country's counter-espionage abilities are so well honed, we use Kira in a recruitment ad for the Australian Army.
I'm Kira, and I'm an information systems technician in the Australian Army.
Seriously, even the commies at the CFMEU would question that one. I'm Ben Harvey.